Good morning, guys, and happy Thursday. I hope that you had a wonderful time completing the assignments yesterday, and that whatever science class live session you were in, that you had fun. So for today, we're going to move into lesson 1.1.2. So if you want to pull that up in your ebook, go right on ahead. Alrighty, now that we are there, let's take a look and see how does it grow. We're going to be investigating some growth patterns today, and so you should have already answered a couple of questions in the opener for this morning or afternoon. And so I just want to take a second to read through the beginning of this lesson and then tell you guys what's up for the day. So, how a pattern grows is a major focus of the course. Understanding how something changes can help you make decisions and predict the future. For example, when the local health department needs to respond to an outbreak of an infectious disease, it makes a difference if the number of infected people increases by 1,000 or by 10,000 people each day. Now, this book was written a long time ago, but this seems quite timely. Anyways, what if they learned that the number of people infected tripled each day? That might affect the way that they respond to the disease. So whether it's 10, 20, 1,000, 10,000, or we've got 1,000 people infected, and then every day it triples, we're going to have 3,000, 9,000, 27,000, and so on and so forth, and it's just going to grow by a large amount. Today, you should be working with, again, the groups I assigned you on Monday to analyze this as well as a couple other different situations involving different types of functions. You and your team are going to collect some data about these three situations, and then after collecting the data, you're going to complete a table and a graph for each situation. However, we're simply going to be collecting data today. As you work together, ask each other the following questions to start and continue productive mathematical discussion. In case you haven't noticed, one of the most important parts of this course is being able to talk about the math with each other, which is why I hope that you're working together with a peer. So, when we're looking through these data labs, what's the pattern? How is that pattern changing? How can you describe the pattern? How does it grow or shrink? And how can we organize that data? That is what you guys are tasked with doing today. So without further ado, let's take a look at the individual data labs. Alrighty, so problem 1.9, the data labs. Today, you and your team will collect and analyze the data from the three labs which are described below. With your team, read and follow the directions for each lab carefully. Each description will tell you how much data to collect and how to collect it. Be sure to record your data in an organized way, and make sure that every team member understands what the data represents and how each pattern is changing. So here are my recommendations. You have Lab A, Lab B, and Lab C, and I'd like for you to collect the data in two ways. Option 1. You use a page of your math notebook or 2 pages, and you collect your data in a table that you create on paper, and you'll submit that to me as a photo or a couple of photos in this Google Classroom assignment. Or B, you can create a Google spreadsheet and put your data in there. Just make sure that it's very clear what is for Lab A, for Lab B, or Lab C, but then you can submit that Google Sheet to me. If you are working in a group, each of you individually needs to submit the sheet or submit a photo, so that way I know. And everyone's work should be their own. So even though the 3 or the 4 or the 2 of you are working together, everyone should be submitting their own data tables that they've written down. I get your data is probably going to be very similar or even the exact same, and that's okay. But I need everyone to submit their own file or their own spreadsheet, if you could. So the first one is a hot tub design. We're going to try and figure out the area or the dimensions of a hot tub that Perry is going to design for behind his house. Lab B is a local crisis. It's a flu epidemic. That sounds relatable. And then Lab C is sign on the dotted line, and it's about timing your signatures. So read through those instructions very carefully. Look at the way that you're going to collect that data, and then do it. Right now, I'm going to show you guys how to access the Lab A Student E-tool. That way you can play with some manipulatives for the dimension. So if you give me 2 seconds, we're going to work on that right now. Alright guys, so if we're taking a look at our Algebra 1 ebook in section 1.1.2, we're going to scroll down and see the Lab A Student eTool in Hyperlink. We're going to click on that link, and you'll see a Desmos tool where you see 36 individual tiles arranged in a square. You are going to want to click and drag on those tiles to place them into other squares in order to create varying rectangles of different dimensions. Those rectangles and those dimensions, of course, are the dimensions of where we're putting our hot tub from Lab A. So click, drag, and drop, and use this tool to collect your data. Good luck, and have fun.